That's crazy.
Or got there, took an hour to get there, it's an hour ran and then.
Yeah.
I
I hate that.
It was beautiful. I mean, we were home, like I said, at 11:30, which was awesome. I said, there's some time to nap. Yeah.
I'll call the February 16th meeting to order. Roll call.
Ashley Allers here. Abby Hansen here. John Hawkins. John Marvel.
Yes.
Megan McFarland.
Here. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
One is petitions, communications, and requests. This is a time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter that is not on the agenda, no more than 5 minutes per person. Except in cases of emergency, the city council will not take any action at this meeting, but may ask the city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for future meetings. Does anybody have anything? Okay. Number 2 is the consent agenda. The following items have been deemed to be non-controversial, routine actions to be approved by the council on a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from the list, it will be considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. A, minutes of February 2nd, 2026 meeting. B, claims and the fund list. C, reports wastewater, electric, and water for January. D, reports police for January. E, fire report for January. And F, agenda statement. This is the community development summary for 2025.
Motion to approve collectively.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
General agenda. Presentation by Williams and Company PC on the 2024-2025 audit for the city of Webster City, Iowa.
Okay, hello, I'm Gwen Bull. I'm the in charge that did the audit this year. So Justin Jacobsma is the engagement partner that is on this audit. So I'm representing both of us tonight. I don't think I know a few of you, but Jody and John both have my information if you want to get a hold of me. Yeah, you guys have a copy. So I'm gonna just kind of run through it. It's a 100-page document. So I'm gonna just hit some high-level items. And then if you have questions, please give me a call, email me. I'd be happy to go through and give it. So the first thing on page 4 is just the audit opinion. Everything went smoothly, unmodified, which means it was clean. Nothing to report there. And then on page 19, skipping all the way to the governmental funds, we like to point out in the general fund, just to give you a ballpark on in your expenditures, how many days you can last without receiving any revenues based on your fund balance. So we do a ratio on that. So recalculate that is 228 days. And so with your fund balance in the general fund, that's how long you could theoretically survive without any income. We like to see around 90 to 120 days because that's when the next cycle of tax revenue comes through. So you guys are sitting well in that position with your fund balance. And then I'm going to skip on to the page 23, the electric system fund. I just wanted to point out there is a correction of error on there as we were going through just the Corn Belt assets and the agreements that you guys have with them and some of the work that's being done, getting that correctly situated of what assets are Corn Belt's responsibility at the end and what are the cities. So you see a pretty large correction of error there. Really just moving that to offset with the receivable that you guys get reimbursed. And then I'm going to skip to the budget analysis on page 70. So here we compare what you guys budgeted to the actual expenditures you had. And just one was over budget, that's the debt service. So you'll see that back in the findings. And so we just like to point that out just to remind to get those amendments up to date and good to go. But yeah, and then the last thing I want to go over is page 94, and that's the findings. So the material weakness that we report, I would say 98% of the cities that we audit have this finding. It's just if we have one material journal entry, you get this finding. So nothing to worry about. That's just what it says, is that we had to propose some entries that were material to the financials. Like I said, 98% of the cities that we audit also get this finding. And then if you keep reading through on the next page on 95, some of those other findings, we're just required by the state of Iowa to report on some of those compliance, those related parties, in the budget there, and then any financial condition that have a deficit fund balance, which is on the last page. Yeah, so those are just the main pieces that I wanted to go over today, but if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. And I have final copies that are coming and get to you as well. Yeah, any questions for me?
I had a couple questions on it. I read it this weekend and just wondering, I don't want to bog the meeting down tonight, but if you would be willing to walk through a couple of things with me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can leave my card with Zodi and you can get hold of me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Motion accepting and placing on file the 2024-2025 City of Webster City audit.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 B is a resolution approving a proposal from Woodruff Construction for embedded repairs at the water treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is part of the water bond proceeds that Snyder and Associate has requested or seen deficiencies at the water treatment plant as far as the water bond. We did reach out to 3 other contractors. Unfortunately, with time constraints and everything, it's one of those things we were moving forward with it. And this is just for the water end beds, so that's 50,000 in there, so that other amount has already been worked out, and we're moving forward with those other 2 projects as we are working through it too.
So just to back up and provide a background to the governing body, 2 years now, maybe ago, we borrowed money for improvements, general improvements to the plant, considering its age and just some of its components. As part of that process, Snyder engineers came back with a series of improvements that would lengthen the life of our water plant 10 to 15 years, as opposed to investing $10 to $12 million in a new plant. The expenditures that Nick is speaking about are from the proceeds of that bond. There are sufficient proceeds remaining in that bond to pay for these. These are replacing end beds in the precast concrete, for which he attempted to procure 3 quotes, only had 1 responder. And then the other portions of it that are the difference between the 50,000 Nick's talking about and the 71 was the front door replacement. I think that came in at about $8,000. And the second piece of equipment that he was purchasing was
Chlorine crane equipment.
chlorine crane equipment. And that is actually a safety feature for our water operators, correct, Nick?
Yep.
And what does that help you do? Can you?
So that basically is going to help us be able to, so if you can scroll down a little bit, right now it's, or go up that picture. So this one right here, the beam itself is not supported sideways. So when we actually lift a 1-ton chlorine cylinder up, it actually moves that whole crane. So with a 1-ton cylinder up, it's better to have it more reinforced and not have to make a call to,
Please.
yeah.
Just so for the governing body, we can also provide you an update on the remaining proceeds of the bond and what we have planned out. That did come across this desk a few months ago at some point in time in 2025, but we're happy to revisit that with the group if you've got questions on it.
Nick, what was the, you said you requested 3 proposals, but because of the time restraint?
Yeah, so reached out to some of these people back in August and November and multiple emails out and still no response back, so figured it was time to move forward because with the water bond proceeds, I'm not sure our time constraint we have with that. And the more you push it out,
Right.
the more it gets harder on John or Jody, so.
So the first request for bid was in August, and then you followed up in November,
Yep,
and you only had the one with Woodruff.
yep. So I guess I'm asking council to approve the agenda.
Anybody have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.